Right, you guys ready to talk about angels? This is gonna trigger a lot of people and ruffle some feathers, but I'm gonna tell you what happened. Let's talk about angels. The highest angel are the Elohai Elohim. They have their Elohai Elohim council of angels. And then you have the Oraphim. Then you have the archangels, you have the regular angels, and then the cherubims. So Michael and Metatron, it was supposed to be Michael, Metatron, Melchizedek. And they were very close to source, but Michael and Metatron kind of sided with the fallen angelics, and they had the dramatic fall from the heavens on earth, the fallen angels. So Michael and Metatron, they got demoted down to archangel status, because if you were really, really super close to source, you would have been an Elohai Elohim. And so the Nephilim Anunnaki hybrids from the Orion group staged the Nephilim Wars, in which they failed to conquer the planet. But they set themselves up as the imposter Michael Matrix. This is the direct support of the Luciferian covenant because, again, Lucifer fell, and this started the whole one world order agenda. They wanted to get out of, source. They didn't want to be around source anymore. And then the identity of the Christ Michael, this is where the Belial Sun Anunnaki agenda. So now these fallen Nephilim Luciferian entities that has been masquerading as the Archangel Michael since the Luciferian rebellion, the false light, Archangel Michael Matrix is a mind control broadcast that is like a biological weapon used to track and hunt spiritually awakened indigos, which is designed to transmit a lot of these artificial frequencies. This is what happened to me because I'm an Indigo 3, and what they do is they reverse your fire letters in your DNA template and then distort it. And a lot of Indigo 3s, this happens to them because the agreement is if you have a Nephilim and Oraphim and your soul, you are assisting in the rehabilitation of the Nephilim consciousness. That's what the mission of the Indigo 3s are. If the individual succumbs to this Nephilim shadow self, it's almost like the person can be groomed or possessed by the fallen entities that are running these reversal frequencies under the Michael blueprint. So generally, Archangel Michael teachings are connected to the Jehovian entities that had infiltrated a lot of the New Age under the moniker of the Galactic Federation. Now, these imposters are fully supporting Thothian, Leviathians, and just taking part in this galactic slave trade. The Leviathians, rays, they make up a lot of the incarnated Luciferian bloodlines, which are the power elites and has been given the blueprint for the Great Reset or the One World Order. And so with the return of the original Christ Michael into our realm, that means that a lot of these dark entities, they're going to have to face the Holy Father, which is the original source, which we should have been the law of one, but they wanted to separate, and they will have to face the real God. So the event, this will generate a lot of confusion in the New Age space because there's still a lot of perception control filters, a lot of mind matrices. These are programs that they've been putting onto people, and you have to clean yourself. And so a lot of sorcery that hijacks the 6D type of coding within the indigo lineages, because a lot of us have the DNA from way back then in Lemuria, where the original Hyperborean families, and they were supposed to bring those Edenic codes to plant it here on Gaia to be heaven on earth, but they wanted to separate from source because they wanted to create their own world, to be their own gods, and they didn't want to be a part of source anymore. They wanted to be their own people, but they had the free will to do that. And so it created a lot of issues. This just cascaded all throughout the galaxy, and they've done all of these bad things to other races too. But yeah, just a little bit snippet of this story, but there's so many more. It's layers and layers. There's so much history, and again, these are eons and eons of years that has happened. But yeah, and here we are now. To be honest, Metatron came to me. He was like one of the first archangels that kind of reached out to me. But the more that I did my research and the more that I kind of just try to feel their vibration, him and Michael, like some people think they're like protectors, but I just don't get that vibe, you know? Like, I mean, sure, but it doesn't sit right with me. Your higher self should be the only one that you can truly trust, and everybody else should just relay their messages from your higher self, unless you can really vouch for like an angel. Like I work with like Elohai Elohim, but yeah, I've vouched for them like over and over again, and you can always ask them, do you work for the law of one mission? And they can't lie to you, and you know, you ask them yes or no, and if they say no, then it's false light.